Hi everybody, welcome to Happy Talk, middle of October 2023. I hope you are doing wonderful. But I know that, the theme of this talk today is coming back home. And I know that it's not easy to do well right now, emotionally speaking, when we are in this maelstrom of images of dead bodies, when we are being inundated with these images from the Middle East, which are of course terrible. I would not be human or at least not an empathetic human, if I didn't know how horrible these images are. These images are terrible. But what happens is, we all get sucked into this low level of depression. We all get sucked into that, like all close to everybody you will talk to. If you bring the subject up, there's going to be a sense of depression coming up. There's a sense of sadness coming up. There's a sense of, oh God, I can't believe this is happening. And it is difficult to believe that it's happening. And at the same time, the one thing that you and I can do to support the conflict in Israel and in Palestine is to raise the vibration and the frequency of our planet. Absolutely, you can keep posting videos and you can keep, doing what you feel is your duty to stay in your sacred path, on your sacred path. But when it comes down to the quantum field of our existence, what we want to do is come back home into our hearts. We want to bring our awareness and our attention back into ourselves, back into our bodies, back into the self. So that even though we know there's a lot of suffering in the quantum field, we can still come back home and be centered and balanced within ourselves. Grow roots into Earth Mother so that we can stay strong when the storm comes. Grow roots into ourselves so that we can be anchored into the body. Because these storms that are happening right now, what it serves are the large corporations that are making money on this, and they're making taxpayer money on it, right? And it serves the entities that are living off of our fear. It serves the entities that are feeding off of what's called loosh, which is the energy we give off when we are in fear. It's the energy that's oozing out from us, especially from the solar plexus, which is where this feeding mechanism, the energetic feeding mechanism, is connected. So what we want to do is counteract that move. Because if we get too completely caught up in the madness that is going on in the Middle East right now, because it is pure and utter madness, straight up. If we get caught up in it, it's a lot like we're being sad over things that absolutely, when we sit with it, we will be holding sadness, right? But we don't really support them or ourselves by going down a spiral of sadness that can only lead to anger and depression. What can really help is when we come back home to our heart and open our heart. Let love flow. Let love flow to the area. If you can, in your meditation, sit and hold the whole area in light. Hold either side, all the suffering, in light. Because we know that one side is really terrible right now, and we know that the other side are being victimized like crazy. But we also know that we need to hold everyone in light, because we don't want to feed into that negativity in ourselves. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help if we go down the road of going against or for one side or the other. It goes when we start holding the whole area, our whole globe in light. So my desire for you, my intention or my prayer for you is to have a prayer of peace in your heart. To have a prayer of peace and love and forgiveness in your heart. And hold the whole area up in light. Surround the whole area in a bubble of pink, bright light. This is the only way we can affect on the quantum field level. And of course, we can send money, we can post the videos, that's all good and dandy. But realize also that our whole awareness and our whole attention is now being sucked into that conflict. Going from the Ukraine war, where that was our attention for quite a while, and now the attention went straight into the other conflict. Meanwhile, what we're missing is that there are several other conflicts, almost in the same region, that are actually almost worse. But the media doesn't bring them up that much, so we don't see them. So we want to see that our attention is being pulled again. Again, we're being led by the nose. It weakens us when we lean into these feelings of complete and utter powerlessness. It weakens us as a collective. And of course, it makes whoever runs the show, whoever holds the strings, the puppet masters, makes them very excited. Because we now believe in more division than before. Now there's even another layer of division between people, whether it's here in the States or anywhere else. No matter, whatever side you're on, that we are now in more of deeper division than before. So in order to come back home, we come back home to our hearts. And where is your heart? It's right in here, right? So heart is where the home is. Your home is where the heart is. I used to think it had to do with other people. I used to think that, well, I'm in love with this person, so that's where my home is. Not realizing that if home is where the heart is, and my heart is here, then this is home. So we come back home to ourselves. We recalibrate, we rebalance, we anchor. So we may stand strong on this planet, and once again we can rise. Because yes, we need to hold the suffering in light. And yes, we need to acknowledge it, of course. But we need to rise up and stand up. Stand in our power. If we want to do any kind of help here. So come back home to your heart. Sit in your love. Happy Friday. Let's hold that whole area in light. Let's go beyond the veil, yeah? We're going beyond the veil all the time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you again soon. Namaste and aho.